Hey guys, welcome back to our third episode, third mission of Sniper Elite.
I think it's like episode 6.
Yeah, episode 6. We're now on the Halfaya Pass, and Nelson, catch us up to speed. What's been going on? Where are we at with the story? What are your objectives for this mission?
The story's still not really showing itself through yet. There's still not much plot to really speak of. But we're going...
Is that what you'd expect? Because, obviously we know the game has 8 missions. Would you expect it to start rearing itself a bit sooner than this?
You would expect it, but it doesn't. I'm just trying to be careful about what I say about future missions.
I'm not sure why you need to be, in terms of you don't have to spoil anything.
No, I know. But stuff will arise later on, it's not that important. It's a bit gimmicky, I suppose.
Well, I think, obviously we've published our review of this on Gaming Union at this point, so we can kind of talk about it in a general sense, but I think the story's not so much about plot progression, is it really? It's more about playing through the sniping campaign. The main character really doesn't have any development, but then you wouldn't really expect it. So
they do change things a little bit up on one of the missions. I think it's 6, which is the furthest I've got at the moment, and I want to say that he has some character development, but it's kind of loose, so not really. But there is.
You're so risque, Nelson.
Well, I can't say anything without spoiling
let's just focus on the mission then.
Story.
Don't worry yourself, okay? You can have a seizure or something.
Oh, shush you. Anyway.
So what are you supposed to do? I guess you've just got a normal kill objective at this point, right? So,
yeah, I'm just sneaking through the valleys. Well, the trenches, I suppose. They're kind of trenches, anyway.
Is that a new item?
What did I just do?
You've got something in the bottom right-hand corner. Looks
it's trip
looks
mines.
new to me.
I don't think I've used these yet. They have an interesting mechanic. They were in Sniper Elite 2 though as well. Which is basically you can put one end down and then it draws a string from one to another.
For someone to trip on?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And they blow up.
It's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. It starts the same way.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the gameplay is very much about sniping and stealth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel as though there's enough development from what you've played so far?
Yeah, there's a nice balance between what you're doing with the rest of the game. You don't feel like the entire thing's purely about sniping, and at the same time, you don't feel like it's missing that as a kind of fundamental point of buying the game either.
I guess it's nice to have because it's that kind of cross between. It's not a full stealth game, is it? So
no. So this is the last mission where I actually take the stealthier option.
That was funny. Ragdoll the body.
Well, I was trying to be really super efficient and going, he might get detected, I'll throw him in the bush. And
they'd probably still see that.
Yeah, this mission's a bit of a disaster for me.
Now that's a spoiler. Everyone's going to skip forward now. Where does it all go wrong for Nelson?
Eh?
What? They just want to get to the good part. Wait, is that guy just at the...
I've had to cut bits out of this episode.
Don't
Not
say
very
that.
much.
You're spoiling the illusion here again.
The illusion's going to be spoiled anyway. But it's not... I don't really lose in the core gameplay. It's just there's a lot of bits where I spend a lot of time faffing around trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to be doing in terms of approaches and...
It's part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but no one wants to watch... Well, they're unfortunately going to see some bits where it is literally kind of me figuring something out and then dying and then getting it right. Presumably the second time, which it isn't. But, you know what I mean.
But you could have convinced everyone in the world that you're an amazing Sniper Elite 3 player.
That's not going to happen in this level.
Well, it's definitely not going to happen now.
No.
At least they would have had some kind of semblance that you were actually any good.
Oh, whatever.
It's okay. When we play co-op, everyone's going to see how amazing I am.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. There's a hint of irony in that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, capture issues are still present.
Oh,
But
so terrible.
There's not too bad. For some reason, it's mostly when the HUD appears, which I don't know why it does that. But I've now switched software, so it's all fine in the next episodes. Or at least it bloody well should be.
If it's not,
Because it was the
it's gonna be
software
hell
we
to
were
pay.
using before. Yeah. It's all your fault now.
It's not my fault.
It is your fault.
Look, computers break, okay?
Yeah. Anyway, things will get more interesting soon when I realise there's not much going on at the moment.
First order of business. Find those 88s.
Wait, so you didn't have to kill anyone, just get somewhere?
Yeah.
You lied to me.
Did I say I had to kill someone?
Yeah. I said it's just a standard kill objective first, and you said yeah.
Oh. I wasn't listening.
That's nice.
I'm sorry. No, it's to destroy flat cannons. Or not flat cannons. A8. Hang on. A8's the artillery guns, I think. I don't remember. There's been a few missions where that's been kind of a similar kind of theme.
Do you
Go
think it's a
destroy
valid
these-
tactic to shoot the vehicles as a distraction? Or is that just really counterproductive? Because I was thinking about that in the last mission, obviously, when you had the optional objective to take out that convoy of trucks. Like, I'm guessing the whole thing is that if you want to do it, it's going to potentially cause aggravation because you're causing massive explosions, but and it doesn't really seem like it affects that much more in the level.
Generally, the only thing it affects is the area of vicinity around
Yeah.
it. So, like, these guys that are in this particular zone would be the only people in the entire map that would even give a crap about the fact that the entire thing just blew up.
And it's a bit disappointing. I think that for me that's the. Obviously, we discussed in the first episode how the stealth mechanic works and why it's kind of good because it forces you to think like a sniper in terms of relocation.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you think about how Splinter Cell has now implemented it,
Yes,
where
but Splinter Cell has it like kind of sort of linear, doesn't it? So
but it's like it's the same kind of thing though. It forces like when you get seen, it creates that kind of shadow, and it forces you to relocate. And they'll kind of go and
Yes.
investigate where they thought you were. It just seems like a more sophisticated version of the same system.
it is, but the thing that's different about Splinter Cell is you're kind of focusing on shorter areas and small regions of enemies rather than huge maps worth. I mean, on this map alone, there are probably about 100 soldiers. Right? So if you're saying that an impact at one area of the map should affect the entire map,
Well, it depends
what's
on
to
the
stop
scale,
you
isn't
having...
it? Like, you could, if it's like a massive explosion, you'd expect people kind of quite far away to think like, what the hell's going on there?
Hang on. What's coming up now is a perfect example of how relocation works. This guy saw me, he knew where I was, and I went out of that building and hid down here in this tiny little crevice. Tell me this, like, how the hell would they know that I was in this spot?
Yeah, and I think that's why this system doesn't work so well, because it doesn't have that kind of level of the level of expectation from what because of what we've seen in other games like Splinter Cell, where when you move, they don't know where you've gone. They just know where you were, and if they happen to find you, like as a result of that, then fair enough. That is weird.
So you saw that, right? He climbed down the hole with me. I was hiding in the grass, and he just like,
But it's like I think
he's not there.
like
I'm gonna climb
even
out.
now, like they can't see you, but there's nothing to indicate that they're any
No.
less alerted.
Oh, they know where I am.
Exactly. Like, but there's nothing going down. There's nothing getting worse. The only way it's going to go down is if you leave the area or kill them
Yeah.
all.
Which isn't happening, because I'm like, oh shit, there's only one way out of here, and there's 3 guys watching me.
Well, fortunately, they just seem to keep killing themselves.
Yes, they do. Which is pretty funny, because they come down, they don't see me, and I just break their necks.
You think they'd like throw a grenade or something?
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. I was totally waiting for it to happen and be like, oh, this is not a good situation. But you hear that noise as well.
Is that the guy over the other side firing?
No, there's one somewhere over to the far left of where I am. And this is what irritated me, because that sniper is completely aware of where I am as well. And he's trying to shoot me. And it's like, how's that possible? Who relayed that information to him? And I'm like, oh, I'm safe now, I can escape. All I've got to do is get out of this area, and it'll be all good.
Theoretically, yes.
Now, that's another thing I don't understand, is why it went from 30 metres down to suddenly 7.
Does it do it based on depth as well? Maybe.
I don't know, but I didn't really
The hell?
change... Yeah, that guy. That's the one that was shooting at me, wasn't it? And... yeah. No idea.
Someone's gonna have to explain that because I don't understand how that works. Like, you clearly got out of the area, and the other guy who was actually directly in front of you was no longer alerted.
No.
But another guy that wasn't even coming up on the map as alerted killed you.
Yeah. Because he knew I was there. But he knew I'd gone in that cave, even though he couldn't have possibly seen that.
So wait, when you've respawned, is the generator broken still? Because I just saw that it's creating noise. Or is that another generator?
It's a different one. I think. I don't know. I respawned at a checkpoint, basically.
Great start.
Yep. Totally fine, though.
Yeah, for some reason he didn't alert anyone.
Nope.
Well,
No one knew
one
about
guy.
that. Even though he shouted. It is a bit strange. But, I mean, I don't know. I like the system, but at the same time I can kind of see the downfall with it as well. And I understand why they implemented it this way. Is because they wanted to create individual sections in an open world map that you kind of go...
Well, yeah, like the
from...
whole point is that you're not supposed to be doing this as such. You're not
No.
supposed to be this close. So if someone sees you, you relocate.
Yeah.
Just like as a normal sniper would. Like the objective is to not be seen by anyone. Like the stealth killing you're doing now should be like a last resort.
Yeah, I think that's because I was putting too much focus on that element of the game. I mean, later on I change how I play. And actually become a bit more aggressive with it and get seen and stuff. I don't think there's any, like, reward for doing it stealthily. Like, I don't think they expect you to kind of go into a mission completely unseen and just, you know, whatever. That's not to say you can't do it.
The
But I-
ultimate sniper. They should never know you're even there. And no one should die. Unless they were an objective.
Yeah, I mean, really that's what you think when you're, you know, talking about snipers. They're not people who engage in close combat. They're not people who are sent in to go and butcher the entire camp worth of enemies. They're there to... Oh, well. No, because even then, I mean, as like a spy, I suppose, or an agent, you'd be in there just to get the objectives and leave.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously this takes kind of a different take on the idea, and it's more about the killing. And I'm like, look, I'm looking for that guy up there, and I just don't see him now. He's just not there.
He's trolling you.
Apparently so. But he was up there, wasn't he? That's where he shot me from. But, yeah, you know.
I think the game does really nail kind of the atmosphere though.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely, you do feel very much exposed, and you've got to kind of, like, pick your targets carefully, and the whole thing feels dangerous. And there's a real sense of urgency in what you're doing. I think some of that's a bit more enforced by the fact that Sniper Elite difficulty doesn't really give you much of an option to engage enemies in any other way. If you get, like, drawn out into gunfire, you're probably dead.
As we saw in the first episode.
Yeah. Although later on I start taking more of an aggressive stance, and obviously...
Well, I think that's okay though, because like, as long as the aggression's controlled.
Yeah, as long as you've got a place where you know that you can hold up and move back to if things go shit, then yes, you're fine. Which is what I was working out with relocating later on, was make sure I got a clear path to somewhere I've already been, piss everyone off and then run away, and then come back. And everyone's like, oh well, he's gone. We're all good here. But this was still the point of me deciding that stealth was the much better approach, and it's really not. Although I don't know how you'd handle authentic difficulty with no mini-map, no marking.
Well, we're gonna have fun with that. You just got to communicate, haven't you? And like you've really got to be aware of your surroundings.
Well, the no checkpoint thing concerns me as well.
I think if they just tried to make it how it, quote unquote, is in real life. No, in real life you don't get a mini map.
Yeah.
You don't have the ability to mark targets other than in your brain.
Mm-hmm. I suppose the ability to see them through walls is a bit of a problem. Like, because there's no way you'll be able to know when an enemy's gone into a building and when he's about to come out again.
So how are you going to take this down?
I'm going to shoot that thing, I think. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, so I shoot it when it fires.
Or a stick of dynamite, is that?
Yeah.
Great place to leave it.
The timing on that was pretty fucking fortunate, because I engaged it way too early.
Yeah, not you didn't really need to wait for the sound, because they're all going to die. And that guy over there...
These other guys were here.
Look, the other guy who's like probably 20 meters away to the right didn't notice anything.
No. And that other guy that goes over to investigate is like, oh, the gun's gone. Oh well, never mind. Stupid fools. They must have set off that dynamite next to it. Won't go report that to my superiors.
Nah, it's not worth it. Must have just been a malfunction of some kind. These things happen.
I think that gives me another checkpoint though. Or at least, save point. I did actually find out you can save at any point as well. Almost like a PC kind of quick save kind of mentality. Of like, okay, I just killed that guy. It's perfectly fine. Save.
I mean, I guess like, in some ways we're being a bit harsh on stealth mechanic, but it's a very difficult mechanic to nail down.
Oh yeah,
I mean, like
totally.
even with obviously Ground Zeroes, that has stealth in a certain way, and obviously you can kind of manipulate that in the same way. You can just go off, piss someone off, then go and hide in the bush, and then they just go back as if nothing's
Yeah, but
happened.
that works.
It does and it
If you
doesn't.
hide, you can hide around a corner and people won't find you as long as you stay away from them. In this, if you stay in the area with them and they know where you were, or they know you were there, they will find you.
Yeah, it's that annoying thing, isn't it? Like I guess in Splinter Cell and Metal Gear, it's that obviously they know where you are, but they've programmed the AI to act as if they don't know where you are,
Yes.
based on where you are.
Yeah. Which is a bit different in this. I mean,
Here's very much like it's like, I mean, I don't want to say it's bad game design because I really understand why they've done it. They want to penalise you for doing a bad job, and it's like they can either do that, I guess, by making the AI really aggressive, which to a degree they are, or they could just do it so that, like, if you get seen, that's it. Like, odds are really against you.
Well, they wanted to create scenarios where obviously where you're
Panic.
forced into a gunfight no matter what you're doing. You can't just
it's just
lay
going to
low
create
and-
panic, isn't it? Like in the other scenario you had just before you died, when there were like the 5 guys, you know, if you hadn't kind of found that bug, let's say, you would have just been dead.
Yeah. Or I would have had to at least
you would
pull
have
out
to
the
run
machine
away.
gun and actually try and do something against
Or
it.
run
and-
away.
Yeah.
So like in that way, it's kind of a perfect system because it does force you to really think about your engagements because you can't really risk alerting people.
There are certain aspects though I don't like what's coming up now, which to me just seems grossly unfair. I'm on like a hilltop. I mean, there's a guy in that building there. I think I'd kill him. I do.
Of course.
And then there's a ladder like right next to me. I think. Maybe not. Oh, it's not this bit. I don't know. I thought it was here.
That we've established that you have no idea what you do.
Shh, I've done quite a lot now. Well, I mean, 3 more missions after this. And this was recorded, what?
Today, of course.
Yeah, of course. But,
What
forgotten.
was he upset about?
The guy I killed on the roof. Or, no, he heard me jumping across. Which you can't control the sound of that.
But where's he going?
He's walking all the way around to go find out what it was. That's what he has to do. Of course he's going to hear that name. Yep.
That's some
That's
serious
top
leg
roof
breaking.
worked.